Okay, and I know. All right, let's get started. Namaste, everyone. Welcome to Hindi University. Really excited to see all of you this Sunday. As you know, my name is Ashutosh, and we meet every Sunday 8 a.m. US Pacific time, which is time on the west coast of the US, to learn about the Hindi language. For those of you who are new to Hindi University, you can learn more about us by going to our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/Hindi University. You can also go to our website, which is hindiuniversity.org, and you'll find out all the details about the Sunday classes, the various practice sessions we have throughout the week, and you can become part of it as well. Okay, and this is a little bit of information if you are new to Hindi University about what it is and what we do. um, in case if you're interested in joining the Sunday classes, here's a Zoom link for you. I mean, regardless of your level, whether you're completely new or advanced, I think you should participate. And based on that, you can really find the relevant practice group, to join and then really progress, your language learning skills. Okay. In addition to that, if you want to become part of the community, we have a WhatsApp group as well as Discord. You can start by joining this WhatsApp group as well, and then once we assess your interest, we'll move you to the right channels. Okay. With that in mind, as you know, this year we are following two main books. In the Hindi journey, one is Pingu Learns Hindi, and second one is Elementary Hindi by Professor Richard Delacy and Sudha Joshi. Richard Delacy is also a Hindi professor at the Harvard University, and we have finished a lot of chapters from Delacy's book. Today we'll be going over chapter number 21 from Richard Delacy books. We will be starting this chapter, and we'll be covering two very important verbs in this class. Okay, verbs as well as all the surrounding use cases of how to use these verbs. Okay, and by the end of this class, you will also learn some important vocabulary words and be able to parse some complex, like Hindi phrases. Let's say if I were to ask you how to say student loan forgiveness policy in Hindi, it may sound intimidating for now, but by the end of this class, you'll be able to say things like that. Okay, so that's the goal. Okay, and with that in mind, as you know, classes are always interactive, so feel free to unmute yourself and ask questions, both on Zoom as well as on Facebook. Okay. All right. So as I said, we'll be focusing on two important verbs. The first one is basically if you want to attract someone's attention, to attract or to someone's attention. Okay, you can see right now on your on your slide, and then I'm gonna unshare it and you see the whiteboard as well. So when you want to attract someone's attention, you want to use the word called sunana, right? Sunana. Typically, when we hear this word, it's basically to hear. Okay, but when you want to get someone's attention also, right, you want to use this verb sunana. Okay, and the variations around that. And the second one is you want to basically to forgive. When you want to forgive someone or something, it's basically maaf karna. Maaf karna. Okay. So basically by the end of this class, we'll be mastering these two words. Okay, so let me unshare it so you'll be able to see my screen. Okay, these are the two things. Okay, any questions so far? I mean, we're just getting started, but in case, if you have any questions, you can ask now as well. Otherwise, I'm going to just continue to build base. We'll start with this one, the first one word called sunana, when you want to attract someone's attention. Okay. So let's say you are walking on a street and you want to find out the direction of a place. Okay, let's say you are in India or small town in India and you want to know where to go from the place you landed. Let's say it's a railway station. Okay, you want to get someone's attention. Let's say a guy or a girl, they're going and you're like, listen brother, right? You want to tell them, listen, like this is your typical thing, listen brother. Okay, listen, brother, and then you will start asking them certain questions. How will you say that? Listen, brother or sister. Okay, Delia, you want to unmute yourself?
I don't know, perhaps Bhai Saab, Suno or
Very
Suno
good.
Bhai.
Yeah, awesome. Bhai Saab. So, brother, you are basically is Bhai, but Saab is generally, said to give respect. Bhai Saab, and then you are saying
Suno.
Suno, right? And Suno, it's basically derived from this verb only, Sunna. Sunna, it's, as I said, to hear, but in this case, you are using sort of an imperative to get the person's attention. Bhai Saab, Suno. Okay. What are the other forms or imperatives you can use here?
With more respect, Suniye.
Yeah, okay, very good, right? So that you can also change the order. So this is one. What can you say?
Suniye ji.
Suniye, okay, Suniye. I'm gonna just use the same one. Suniye bhai sahab. Listen, brother. Right? What else?
Sun.
Sun. Very good. Sun. Sun is like if you're already, let's say you're talking to a very close friend of yours, okay, and you want to listen, you want them to listen to you. Okay, सुन आज शाम को कुछ करते हैं. Listen, let's do something this evening. Okay, you can talk about like let's go for a movie or let's go for a new restaurant or whatever it could be. Okay, so it can be said in a huge sentence as well as just itself like soon. Okay, it's itself would imply that you want to get someone attention. Okay, um, things have changed, but but like in the early days, like the husband and wife will not say each other's name. They will not refer to each other with their name, right? So as Delia just mentioned, like typically a wife, if she wants to get husband attention, earlier days it will be Suniye ji, right? Suniye ji, listen, and then like for the husband, she's using the ji. Okay, and then same thing, the husband could also say suno to wife to get their attention, like, and then he'll say suno and then he'll go on with what he wants to share. Okay, um, okay, it could be also, so right now I'm just using the imperative form, right? It could be also said, let's, in the continuous form, which is basically sun rahi ho. Okay, sun rahi ho, that's basically a husband. I'm just giving an example. Husband trying to get attention of the wife. Sun rahi ho. Okay, what does it mean? Linda ji, what do you think it means? Sun rahi ho.
Are you listening?
Are you listening? Yes, that's right. Okay, and same thing, if the wife would like to say same thing, get attention of the husband, it would be
Sun, is it with respect? Sun rahe ho?
sun rahe ho. Amazing. Sun rahe ho. Okay, sun rahe ho. Okay, so these are basically Delacy doesn't go into that much of a detail, but these are the different ways of you getting someone's attention when you want to share something or when you want to tell something to them. Okay, any questions so far? Anyone has any kind of? I'm gonna show some old songs. Okay, not huge long songs, but just like quick initial parts of it where one person is trying to get someone's attention and how the different forms of sunna is being used. Okay, but in the meantime, if you have any questions, because this section is, it's only like the first verb is very simple. It's just like you becoming comfortable using it. An example would be Richard Delacy also uses in his book Bhai Saab Suniye. Okay, listen brother, or excuse me brother, क्या आपको मालूम है कि लाल किला कहाँ है? क्या आपको मालूम है? Which is, what does it mean? क्या आपको मालूम है, एलिजाबेथ जी? क्या आपको मालूम है?
Does it mean what do you like?
Okay, क्या आपको
Do
मालूम,
you,
मालूम Malum is to, malum hona is to know.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so क्या आपको मालूम है is do you
do you know,
very good, do you know लाल किला कहाँ है? Lal Killa is a place, a red fort, okay? And the person is asking, Lal Killa kahan hai?
do you know where this place is?
That's right. Where is Red Fort? Do you know where is Red Fort? Okay, Red Fort is a place. It's a place in New Delhi, basically. So essentially, Bhai Sahab suniye, listen, brother. Okay, or can I have your attention, brother? Okay, क्या आपको मालूम है कि लाल किला कहाँ है? Do you know where is the Red Fort? Okay. I mean, you don't see it now, but back in the days, like, probably in the early 80s and, before, if the government, if they want to make an announcement, they will send this like loudspeaker and then to make the announcement throughout the town. Okay. And before they make the announcement, it would start with, to get their attention, it would start with, saying this thing multiple times, suno, suno, suno. Okay, it's just repeating it basically just to re-emphasize the same notion, like listen, right? Or can I have your attention, please, right? Suno, suno, suno. And then they'll talk about what is happening. Okay, any questions, anyone? Angela ji, okay, not okay?
Yes, okay, thank you.
Okay, all right, good. All right. So I'm going to share some clips with you guys. And you should also, as a homework, you should also do that. To look up, what are some of the other videos or song that you may find there. Okay, they go pretty fast, so I'm going to share it, and hopefully you'll be able to. I'm going to just play a very small clip of each song, so not going to be huge song. Okay, for some of the folks who joined late or just joined now, we are just going over one of the very popular word, which is sunna, to listen, but it's also used when you want to get someone's attention. Okay, and to illustrate the point, I'm going to just show some old songs. Okay, hopefully you can see my screen, so listen to it. Okay, so you see that, like, they want to get each other's attention and they keep repeating that. Okay, it's simple, right? When you talk about कहना is to tell, but like they keep saying that. I'm going to play it one more time. Okay, so hopefully it makes sense, right? And then I'm going to play one more. Okay, again, 1979 movie. It used to be very good. I mean, it's still a very popular song. Okay, so earlier, the previous video, they were using the imperative form suno. Okay, in this one, it's a different form. It's suniye. Okay, hopefully you can follow it. Okay, one more time. Hopefully you can get it. So same thing, earlier one, it was suno kaho. In this one, suniye and then kahiye, and they keep repeating, right? Okay, any questions, anyone so far? Anyone? Okay, all right, hopefully. Okay, so now third variation, which is basically the very informal one, right, which is sun. Okay, and to illustrate the point that the same thing can be said multiple times. Okay, it's a very old song. I've not watched this movie, but I have to guess it's probably early, before 60s. Okay. Okay, so he's referring to her as a zalima, which is basically like, in this case it means like you probably stole, the one who was stealing the heart or something. So listen to it. Okay. Okay, so if you don't understand the rest of the part, it's basically sun, and then he's basically, that's what he's saying. Okay, sun. Okay, all right. So hopefully it makes sense, right? Hopefully you see the theme behind all the three clips is basically the the variation of sunna and kehna. Okay, I'm going to take a pause to see if there are any quick questions or observation.
Yes. May I make an observation,
Yeah.
Ashuji?
Yes, please.
The two popular songs more current. One is called Sun Satya Mahia. That's
Yeah.
a very popular song. It's a dance
Yeah.
song, Sun Sun Sun. And then in Ashaki too, there's a song called Sun Rahai.
Yeah, that's right. Surah Hanatu. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So again, like it's she is. It is implied that she is talking to, or he's talking to the god, like Sun Raha Hai Na Tu, right? Or maybe the lover, basically, right? I mean, but yes, that's definitely right. Yeah. Anyone else?
What in the songs? What is kaha and kahihi?
Yeah. So when you are saying suno and the person is saying kaho, okay, like listen, and then like okay, tell. So it may, on the surface,
Oh,
it may appear like, what is it? Like listen, tell, like if you were to convert into English,
okay,
it would make no sense, right? But,
okay.
the emotion behind that is like, it's basically they're trying to just converse in that. Yeah. Anyone else? So if you only hear that part, it's easier. Then it doesn't sound intimidating, right? Because then you don't have to parse through the complex Hindi song. All right, so we'll move on. So this one was just to get someone's attention. Let's say if I were to get the class's attention, I would definitely say suno. Okay, listen to me. Like मेरी बात सुनो. Okay, I'm gonna say write it as well. So if I can say मेरी बात सुनो. Okay, or I could also say baat suno. Okay, baat suno, which is like listen to me. Okay, so if there's a lot of chatter going on, if I want to get everyone's attention, I would definitely say meri baat suno, like listen to me. Yeah, fine. I'm gonna erase it and we'll move on to the next word, which is to, and there are different forms of it, so I'm gonna break it down for you guys. Okay, so the second one is to forgive. If you want to use it as a verb, it's basically maaf karna. Okay, maaf karna. Yes, if you want to use it as a verb. Okay, if you want to, and you'll see variations of it, right? To forgive someone is, you will use maaf karna. Okay, what about, just like in English, when you have forgive, let's say, what is forgiveness? What is forgiveness? You can write it down on a chat. Mitaji, what is forgiveness? Something along that.
I don't know the word for forgiveness. Sorry. Forgive me. Sorry.
Good job. I gave you for that. Okay. It's something around. Okay. So it's something around. You already have this one. Maaf. Shan.
Muffet? No.
Okay. Okay. Shan.
Something related to muff? Is it just muff by
Yeah.
itself?
Something related to maaf.
Yeah, sorry, I don't know either.
Okay. Okay. Anyone else? Very good. Right. So I think Angela ji, you want to try that?
Yeah, is it Murphy?
Yes, that's right. Maafi. Okay. So you have to forgive is maaf karna, and forgiveness is basically your maafi. So forgiveness is your noun. Okay, and if it is just maaf, okay, if it is just maaf, it's your adjective. Okay, so when you hear these words around it, it's just like in English or any other language. Hindi speakers would also use the same term in different way. They can use it as a verb, they can use it as an adjective, they can use it as a noun. Okay, so I'm gonna go over all of them one by one, and then let's say, so one is maaf karna, we'll spend time on that one. Okay, to maafi also will spend some time on that one, maafi. And the third one is to seek forgiveness. to seek forgiveness. Anyone else would like to guess? You already know Mafi is
माफी
first.
मांगना
Very good. Mafi mangna. Mafi, and then you hear this another word, mangna. Okay, mangna. Okay, mangna is to ask or to beg. Okay, mangna, when you ask for something, or you, and in this case when you're begging for forgiveness, it's mafi mangna. Okay, mafi mangna. I'm going to write it down here in case if it is not clear. Mangna. Okay, so we'll spend a bunch of time that on this one, and as I said, by the end of this section you'll be able to decode complex Hindi words, like how to say student learn forgiveness, or during the time of, like, you know, a certain, during the difficult time, you know, politicians come up with the scheme to forgive student loan. I mean, how do you do, like, you know, you need not just the grammar, but you need vocabulary also. So hopefully we'll be able to, all of us will be able to do that. Okay.
To be forgiven, maafi hona then, or does that not exist?
Which one?
To be forgiven?
To be, it's around that only. Like, we'll, once we take a sentence, it'll be much easier for me to translate it. But yes, it's around those only. Those, like, either mafi mangna, or, you know, mafi de dena, right? I mean, along those only. Yeah. So I'm gonna start simple with case one, and then we'll build on top of it. But as I said, like, you know, ask questions throughout the session. So let's say we'll start with case number one, which is basically to forgive. The case number one is forgive, which is maaf karna. Okay, maaf karna. Okay, so let's say your sentence is very simple. Because it's simple, you already guys know words and how to use it. You have to help me. Okay, so let's say you have a sentence called Ron forgives. Okay, you guys can get ahead, and you, as I write it, you think about how you will say it in Hindi, and I'm gonna you know, pick you know, some of you also to help me here. Okay, Sunita ji, how will you say that? Ron forgives. Present indefinite tense. You already have the verb in front.
Ron माफ करता है.
Very good. Ron maaf karta hai. Hopefully it should be clear to everyone. Ron maaf karta hai. Okay. The sentence, it is missing an object. Who is the recipient of this, you know, maafi? Who is the recipient of it? Okay. So imagine now I want to add Ron forgives Sean. Okay. Ron forgives Sean. You have just added an object. Earlier one didn't have object. Okay. Rita ji, how are you doing?
Metiku.
Okay. Give it a try. Earlier one didn't.
Ron, Sean Ko, Marv Kata hai.
Beautiful. There you go. So you already have this one. Maaf karta hai. All she did was Ron Sean ko maaf karta hai. Why did you put ko here? Can you explain?
It's Sean. It's a person.
Okay, Sean is a person, and
It's a postposition for, like, to Sean. Ron gives forgiveness.
that's right, right? Because people are, like, you know, this is one of the tough part, especially if you are moving from beginners to intermediate. Like, you're saying it's a post position, but the question would be, why not use some other post position? There are so many post positions. Why did you just use ko here?
Well, because I hate Cole. It's because Sean is a person and we put the co after. He's an animate object.
That's right. It's when you're receiving something, right? He's the recipient, object, right? Who is receiving this action, basically. To forgive is a, to transitive verb, right? And there has to be an object receiving that action. So when you have a sentence like that, the object, if it is animated, thing, it will be followed by postposition ko. Okay, so when you have Ron forgives, is Ron maaf karta hai.
Is forgive is this an intransitive verb or so if it was like Ron forgave Sean, would it be Ron nay?
That's right. Ron
Okay.
forgives Sean is Ron ne Sean ko maaf kiya.
Okay.
Yeah, awesome. Any questions so far? It gets, I'm going to add complexity to it. So, if you have any questions, you should ask now. You can ask later also, but so now let's add, instead of Sean, you have Ron forgives, or let's say you have, instead of, Sean, let's say it's, you want to use I or me. Okay, let's say, how would you do that? Ali ji, you want to try that? Ali Kelly?
Yeah, so you're saying Ron forgives me?
Uh-huh.
So Ron, would it be mera or mujhko?
Very good, very good.
Ron mujhko maaf karta hai.
Okay, so Ron, you can say mujhe or mujhko maaf karta hai. Okay, so I is main, which is, if it is followed by ko, it's basically either mujhe or mujhko. Okay, so you already had, Sean. When it was Sean, it was easy. I mean, it was hard because it was a ko, but relatively speaking, it was still easy, right? But as soon as you replace with the, the other form of the pronoun, you have mujhe. Ron mujhe maaf karta hai. It's harder because, you don't really see here, like, especially if you're using mujhe, you're like, there's not even a ko here, right? I mean, so hopefully it makes sense, right? Ron mujhe maaf karta hai. Okay. Now let's change it to something else. Instead of Ron, let's say you have you forgive me. You forgive me. Okay, everyone should do that now, I think, because it's getting easier also. You forgive me. Ingaji. Okay, I think your internet, you mentioned that. Sorry, no problem. I'm going to come back to you. Sharmila ji, how are you doing? You forgive me. Okay. Sharon ji, you try.
Me?
हाँ शरण जी.
आप
Mm-hmm.
मुझे माफ करते हैं.
Very good. आप मुझे माफ करते हैं. आप मुझे माफ करते हैं. Okay. आप मुझे माफ करते हैं. Now let's see. You want to. I'm going to still on case number 1. Okay. So far we are using the present tense and keeping it simple. Now you want to use imperatives. Okay, you want to use imperatives, and you can remove this also. Okay, you can remove the subject here. Okay, you can say mujhe maaf. Use different forms of imperatives here. Shan, which other imperatives you can use here? For the
Kijiye.
Very good. Mujhe maaf kijiye. Mujhe maaf kijiye. What does it mean?
Forgive me.
Forgive me. Okay. So if you want to just say forgive me, mujhe maaf kijiye. Okay. Believe it or not, if you go to the textbooks, they will really start with this sentence, forgive me. Okay. Which is maaf kijiye or mujhe maaf kijiye. And it confuses most of the readers, because imagine we started from a subject with no object, and then we started, like, you have a subject and object. Okay, then we went from there to, like, using mujhe, right? and then go on it. Like, so if you look at the order, it will make much more sense here. Like when you say forgive me, it's like maaf kijiye, mujhe maaf kijiye. Okay. Sometime you will also say maaf kijiye. Okay, maaf kijiye, which is nothing but like, you know, a similar thing like maaf kijiye. Okay, which has like, you know, even though the mujhe is missing, aap is missing, but it's implied that aap mujhe maaf kijiye, you know, and then you will go ahead with um, uh, other things. Okay, so maaf kijiye, you know, you can say maaf kijiyega if you want to be respectful. Kijiyega, maaf kijiyega. Okay, you can also use the other form, which is maaf karo. Maaf karo can also be said in a tone of sarcasm. Okay, like, you know, spare me or please leave me alone. Like you forgive me, maaf karo, mujhe maaf karo, and you know, stop bothering me. Essentially, like it can have this tone also. Mujhe maaf karo. Okay. Any questions so far on this one? On case number one. Anyone? Okay, good. Okay, you guys want to make some sentence, like, you know, just use maaf karna as a verb, and I'm going to give you guys some time, like, you know, all of you should have like, you know, a couple of minutes. If you can write down your sentence in Zoom chat or on Facebook chat. Okay. Okay, awesome. Okay, Meeta ji, aap mujhe maaf kijiye. Okay, awesome. Write it down. You can change the subject, you can change the object, you know, anything. Freestyle. All I want to see is the use of the verb maaf karna. Okay. Okay, awesome. So Linda ji has written, okay, मुझे माफ कीजिए कि मैं लेट हूँ, ओके, और मैं देर से आई हूँ. ओके, awesome. क्या आप मुझे माफ कर सकते हैं? Awesome, रामचंद्रन जी. I know you are new, so I'm not going to put you on spot, but awesome. मेरी गलतियों को माफ कीजिए. ओके, awesome. मेरी गलतियों को माफ कीजिए. प्लीज फॉरगिव माय मिस्टेक्स. कल मैं आपको माफ कर. ओके, व्हाट आर यू ट्राइंग टू से, जेडी जी?
Tomorrow I will forgive you.
Tomorrow I won't.
I put the wrong ending on there. It should be maaf kartahun.
Okay.
No, maaf karunga.
Very good. Okay. Tomorrow I will forgive you. I think, is that what you want to say? Then it's like कल मैं आपको माफ करूंगा. Okay. क्या आप उसे माफ करते हैं? Okay, awesome. Okay, awesome. उसे माफ कर दो. Okay, शिरीन जी, awesome. उसका ये मतलब नहीं था. Awesome. उसे माफ करो. Please forgive him. He did not mean that. उसका ये मतलब नहीं था. Okay. रॉन एलिस को माफ नहीं कर सकता है. Okay. मैं आपको माफ नहीं कर सकती. Okay, awesome. Okay. So negative, you guys are using it. This is pretty great. Okay. मैं आपको माफ नहीं कर सकती. I cannot forgive you. Okay. I can never forgive you. How will you say that? Okay. Okay, or rather, I will never forgive him. Okay, यूनी, awesome. मैं देर से आई,
माफ करूंगी.
वेरी गुड. मैं उसे कभी नहीं माफ करूंगी और मैं उसे कभी नहीं माफ करूंगा. ओके, नेवर इज बेसिकली, दैट्स व्हाई यू यूजिंग कभी. मैं उसे कभी माफ नहीं. आई विल राइट इट डाउन. ओके, सो मैं उसको कभी माफ नहीं करूंगा. This is the same form that JDG is using, which is basically मैं माफ करूंगा. That's what JDG was using. मैं उसे कल माफ करूंगा. And all we did was कभी माफ नहीं करूंगा. Okay, which is I will never forgive him. Or if a girl is saying it, मैं उसे कभी नहीं माफ करूंगी. This is female and this is male. Okay. All right. So we'll move on to case number 2. If you guys have any questions, you can still ask. Okay. So this is maaf karna, which is used as a verb. Now we'll do the other one to case number 2, which is maafi mangna, to seek forgiveness. Maafi mangna. Okay. Mangna is to beg in general. So to beg for forgiveness, or to beg forgiveness. To beg forgiveness. So imagine, just like we had the case of Ron forgive Sean, you have the same sentence called Ron seeks forgiveness. Ron seeks forgiveness. We'll start simple. Present indefinite tense. You can use chat to write down how will you say that. Ron seeks forgiveness. Okay, Ron seeks forgiveness. Let's say somebody who's not tried before. Tom ji, how are you doing?
Namaste, Ashu ji, मैं ठीक हूँ.
Okay, how will you try that? Ron seeks.
Ron माफी मांगता है.
Beautiful. Ron माफी मांगता है. Okay, Ron माफी मांगता है. Great. Okay, so far so good. Okay, now you want to say Ron is, this is your number 1. Ron Ron, I'm going to change the tense here. Ron is seeking forgiveness. Ron is seeking forgiveness. Okay, Ron. I just changed the sentence. That's it. Everything else is exactly same. Let's see. Jane, you want to try that? Jane? Because it's continuous, it's raha, rahi, rahe. Everything else should be the same. Madhavendra Puri ji, you want to unmute yourself? If you need more time, that's totally okay.
Sorry, Prabhu, I was not listening.
No problem. Okay. No worries. Let's see who else. Uni, you want to try that one? You're not late for this one. So.
Okay. Ron माफी मांग रहा है.
Beautiful. Ron माफी मांग रहा है. It's a similar sentence as above. The only thing is we change the sentence. Okay. Typically, when you're seeking forgiveness, you are seeking forgiveness from someone. Okay. So let's say you want to say this. Ron is seeking forgiveness from Sean. Okay. Ron is seeking forgiveness from Sean. How will you say that? Ramchandranji, you want to try this out? It's a similar sentence. Most of it is same. Only thing you have to put is from Sean. Oh, you have no mic today?
Sure.
Huh?
Sean से माफी मांग रहा था.
Okay, beautiful. It's the same thing. All you have done is Ron. 1 minute.
Sean से माफी मांग रहा था.
Okay, perfect. So all you have done is Ron. You have exact same thing. Ron, Sean. All you have done is you added Ron Sean से माफी मांग रहा है. Okay. You have the object. Only thing is you're using the postposition say, because you're seeking forgiveness from someone. Okay. Ron is seeking forgiveness from Sean. So Ron Sean से माफी मांग रहा है. Okay. So similarly, like let's say if you were to replace Ron and Sean with I and you, it would be Chris. You replace Ron and you replacing Ron with I and Sean with you. How will you say that?
मैं आपसे
Keep going. मैं आपसे
माफी रहा है.
Okay, मैं आपसे माफी मांग
रहा है. रहे हैं.
रहा हूँ. Okay, मैं. Okay, awesome, beautiful. मैं आपसे माफी मांग रहा हूँ for Ron, and if it is, let's say, Riya, मैं आपसे माफी मांग रही. If वो girl is saying it, मैं आपसे माफी मांग रही हूँ. Okay, hopefully it is clear, right? Hopefully it's the issue comes when when you're speaking it, and we're thinking too much between maaf karna versus maafi mangna. Then it can get like a little bit fuzzy. But if you have clarity about which one is what, in which sense you're using it, then it's no problem, right? Then you will not confuse like aapse versus aapko, right? One is seeking forgiveness, and the second one is like to forgive someone. Any questions so far before we move to the next one? So we have done 2 cases. We'll do case number 3 now. Okay, we'll do case number 3, which is basically, so if you guys recall, how do you say the newspaper in Hindi? You've learned before, newspaper.
अखबार.
Akbar.
Very good, akhbar. Okay, and someone who delivers the newspaper.
अखबार वाला.
अखबार वाला.
Very good, right? Akhbar wala. Wala again, we did like some of wala in the previous class. Akhbar wala. Right? So newspaper is akhbar. Akhbar wala is someone who sells the newspaper, like a hawker, right? Now, similarly, to bolna is to speak. Okay, and someone who speaks is
बोलने वाला.
बोलने वाला.
बोलने वाला.
बोलने वाला. Okay, so from newspaper we went to akhbar. From akhbar se akhbar wala. From bolna it becomes the infinitive oblique bolne wala, right? So similarly, let's say if you have someone
Sorry.
who
Can I ask a quick question?
Yes.
How do you differentiate bolnewala from a speaker versus someone who's about to speak?
Yeah. So if you want to use the one word, it's vakta, basically the speaker, right? That's like the speaker of this particular speech or this particular ceremony is Mr. Richard, right? So like aaj ke vakta Mr. Richard hai, but that's what it is, right? So the point here is like, how do you say someone who forgives? Someone who forgives.
माफ करने वाला.
माफ करने वाला.
Very good, right? माफ करने वाला. माफ करने वाला. माफ करने वाला. It's a noun, right? So you started with how you derive a noun from the verb. Maaf karna is to forgive someone, and then just by putting the wala, you convert it into like a person, someone who forgives. Okay, how about someone who seeks forgiveness? Someone
माफी मांगना वाला.
माफी मांगने.
Okay, keep going, Neetaji. You're almost there. Someone
Uh, Mafi mangna wala.
Okay. Oh, infinitive oblique.
Or mangne wala.
Very good. Right. So maafi mangne wala. I'm going to take a pause because I probably went a little bit fast here. If someone does not know wala, it may be a bit tricky, but if you have any questions, I can answer here. So maaf karne wala, maafi mangne wala. If anyone has any questions, you can.
Sorry, I think I still have a question, but it might be for later. Like, I guess, how do you differentiate between the noun and someone who's about to do an action, right? Because couldn't all of
Yeah.
these also mean basically you're
So-
about to do the thing?
Yeah, then it's a context basically, right? मैं माफी मांगने वाला हूँ. So Sean's question is like, how do I differentiate between whether it's I'm about to, seek forgiveness, or is it something like, I'm someone who's a doer of it, right? So you have to see what's happening before the sentence and what is happening after it. Otherwise, you're right. Like there's no way, there's no way for you to know if it is just in isolation. It could mean both.
Cool.
Yeah.
And then can you write Mangna in Devanagari? How does
Yes.
that?
Yeah, totally. Right. So you have a ma with a g mangna. So there's a nasalized dot on top of ma. Mangna. Mangna.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. So far, so good. Everyone is with me. Like you have maafi mangne wala, then you have maaf karne wala. I'm going to keep it here. So there's a saying. Okay, so let's say you have. I'm going to do case 4, or maybe let's say case 3 only. Let's say you have this thing called redwood tree. Let's call it number 1. Redwood tree is bigger than an apple tree, or taller, or whatever, right? So let's call this one apple tree number 2. How do you say that in Hindi? How do you say that in Hindi?
Would it be redwood tree, apple tree, say bada hai?
Very good, right? So I'm going to just say 1. 1, 2 say bada hota hai. I'm just saying in general. If it is, then you will say hota hai. Your sentence is absolutely right. Bada hai. When you look at it and you're like, ye tree isse bada hai. Okay, but you end up using hona if it is a general sentence, right? 1, 2 say bada hota hai. Now imagine you have this saying like, someone who forgives, it's bigger, or than someone who is seeking, how would you say that? Someone who forgives is bigger than someone who seeks forgiveness. There is a term they use for it, but let's say there's a phrase, right? How do you say that phrase? You already have a template.
Maaf karne wala, maafi mangne wala se hote hai.
Keep going.
That's all I got.
No. So you have a template right in front of you.
Oh, okay. Bada hote hai.
There you go. Okay. The only thing is, in the second one, you have a say, so it becomes oblique. Wala becomes oblique. Say it one more time, JDG.
Maaf karne wala,
Maaf karne wala.
maafi mangne wala se
So
bada
because it's wala and say, it becomes
wale
yeah.
bada hote hai.
Yeah. So what he said was, maaf karne wala माफी मांगने वाले से बड़ा होता है. The template is 1, 2 से बड़ा होता है. Okay, and all we did was we put both of them in the same sentence. We just changed wala to wale
And that's Bale because se is a postposition.
That is correct.
Okay.
Yeah. It was a long sentence, but imagine if I had to ask you this thing before the class, like how would you say that, right? And from there to here, hopefully it is like, making sense. Any questions, anyone? Who's finding it hard, or who found it hard? Maybe you know, be honest and raise your hand. Okay. Okay, I think so far, hopefully most of you are following it. If it is still hard, you write it down, and you share your observation or reflection. I'm happy to. Singer is gayak or gaika. It's both. Gayak for a male singer, gaika for a female singer. You can also say gaane wala. Okay, gana gaane wala. You can say that. That's right. Like I think I missed the previous one. Yes, you can say gaane wala. Right? Generic word, right? Gaane wala. Okay. Now imagine you have some news article which is basically this. This is okay. So imagine, let's say, a politician is saying like something like this. Politician. This loan will be forgiven. This loan. Okay, so I'm gonna, rather than passive voice, I'm gonna write it in active voice. So a politician saying it, we will forgive this loan. Passive voice will do it in the next class, okay? But let's say you have we will. I'm gonna use this one in a new way. Basically, we will forgive this loan. Okay, so far, because when we're talking about forgiveness, we are talking about like apologizing basically, but it can also be used to forgive something, right? How will you say this thing in Hindi? We will forgive this loan.
हम ये उधार माफ करेंगे.
Very good, right? So very good, right? हम ये और यह, you can say loan or udhar, which is this one, udhar माफ करेंगे. हम ये लोन उधार माफ करेंगे. So loan, it can be said it's udhar, it can be ऋण. You will see this term also, ऋण, which it's basically it's said in this way, but the is slightly different one, ऋण. Okay, हम ये ऋण माफ करेंगे. You will also hear this word called कर्ज. कर्ज. Okay, हम यह लोन माफ करेंगे. We will forgive this loan. Okay. Okay. Okay, so now let's say you have, similarly, let's say you have loan forgiveness. You hear this term, loan forgiveness. How will you say that in Hindi? These are the terms for loan. You can say udhar, you can say rin, you can say कर्ज. Forgiveness, as you learn, it's a noun, right? How will you say that? You should all don't say it loud. Write it down in chat, so just so that everyone can get a chance. Loan forgiveness. Okay, you can use any of these terms, and then the word for forgiveness. Okay, keep going, everyone. Okay, awesome. Okay, you will see. Okay, awesome. All of you are correct. All of you. Okay, so loan forgiveness, and then you can also hear loan forgiveness policy. Okay, policy is nothing but yojana. Okay, believe it or not, like if you search for this word, you will see all the articles in Hindi which are related to, like, and I'm using the term loan here, but you will hear the English words also around that, like bill, electricity bill, हम electricity bill माफ करेंगे, और हम ये वाला bill माफ करेंगे, we will, so right, हम okay, anyway, let's see. Okay, so all of you are correct. उधार माफी, कर्ज माफी, उधार की माफी, okay, you can say that, कर्ज माफी, okay, all of it is correct. Okay, so it's nothing but udhar is there already, udhar maafi, and then if it is a policy you can say yojana. Okay, or if you want, in Hindi you will also see the scheme written in Hindi, half scheme, udhar maafi scheme. Okay, so all of it is correct that you have. Okay, any questions so far, anyone? I know we covered a lot. So essentially we covered 4 cases for the second verb. Okay, we started with, to recap, we went over maaf karna, okay, and we did various sentences on that, maaf karna. Then we went to maafi mangna, okay. Then we went over, like, using wala along with it, which is basically maaf karne wala maafi mangne wale se bada hota hai. Okay, then we went over, like, it's used not just to apologize, but also like if you are forgiving certain things, like a debt or loan or other things. Okay, so it can be used there also. So the homework exercise for you is in chapter number 21 there is a small paragraph written in Devanagari. Okay, so for those of you who can read Devanagari, I definitely want you to read this paragraph, which is like the very first paragraph in chapter number 21 of Richard Delacy book. Read it and, like, try to comprehend that, like, paragraph. For if you cannot read the Devanagari part, hopefully one of us can translate the Devanagari into Romanagari. Okay, and the second thing is, like, try to look up these terms, search for maaf karna on Google in Hindi and try to see some news articles, and don't read the news articles, at least read the headline and see if it makes sense. Okay, I'm gonna stop the broadcast. So for folks who are watching live on Facebook, thank you so much for joining. You can also join us live using Zoom.